Unlock the power of AI in marketing with our new series, AI Agent. Dive into the world of SaaS tools, discover how marketing pros deploy bots, and explore the best use cases for AI in your marketing strategy. Only on Marketing in the Age of AI podcast with Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today we are going to start diving into the concept of setting up software and letting the software run on our behalf, and then picking up the conversation after the other humans are interested in having a conversation with us. My guest today is Mark Troy, and he is an old head in the software industry all the way back to the .com era. Mark has co-founded, and invested in over 10 companies, and the current company he's working with is called CallSign, and it is an email outreach tool on steroids. So, Mark, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking time to be with me this morning.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. It's great to have a conversation, and I'm just curious how you guys dreamt up the kind of the foundation of what CallSign is, and then a little bit of the progression through time here.
Yeah, so a little bit of history going back a bit. So I have 30 years, as you mentioned, as an entrepreneur, and the first run was in .com, and that was in the big picture, kind of tying it into sales enablement. And where we are now is filling the funnel, and we would fill the top of the funnel, and then over time, we kind of progressed into lead generation through a division we created called Union Resolute, and it spun out as its own entity. Reason for that is we stumbled into something called intent data. We were working with salespeople developing sales content for their teams, and they were asking us at that point, hey, you guys seem to be good at sales. Can you help us with lead generation? We stumbled into Bombora, which is the first entity to pull off intent data in 2014, around that time frame, and very interesting to us. Yeah, they were pioneer. And now if you Google intent data, it's everywhere, right? You've got ZoomInfo has it. They bought some companies, 6sense and others. And we created a pane of glass, our own software platform called Lead Resolution, which would allow us to do for our clients white glove lead generation services. They would provide us information, emails at that time. Now to be clear, our email, we are LinkedIn, and we are text, soon to be text, plus contact level data, which we can get into in a bit.
Cool.
But the progression was, could we do this? And we pulled off that platform for about 10 years. And along the way, we started to invest in AI, and that allowed us to develop something called CallSign, which we have today.
I love it. So yeah, are you focused completely on B2B, or is this a mixed platform for both?
It's interesting. Right now it is primarily B2B, but any user can go on our website, sign up, and use it for any purpose. So if someone says, I want to use this for B2C outreach, they certainly can. We don't govern. I mean, we can give clients bumpers, if you will, relative to what they can and can't do. But if you load contact level data into the system and you want to do outreach, you can do that at any level. Imagine for political fundraising, as an example.
Gotcha. Yeah. So CallSign is doing cold email outreach, and are you able to pull in leads that have done a search for whatever product or service you're doing, or where do you fit in that landscape?
So in the landscape of outreach, you're dealing with the competitive landscape. As an example, we've got from Salesforce all the way down into entities like Clay.
Right.
That's kind of this. You have the CRM tools, then you have the sales enablement tools. Apollo Outreach and SalesLoft are the three major big players.
Yep.
We are email, LinkedIn, soon to be SMS. We also will be launching contact level data. So if someone has contact level data, they can load it into our system, either as simple CSV, or they can use something called Audience Builder, which we have that allows you to generate an audience in Sales Navigator and use CallSign for outreach. It's pretty cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then we're integrated with all the CRM, so we can configure it so it bi-directionally will sync with your data from the CRM to CallSign and back and forth, and set up some automation for outreach. So if you have a single source of truth as your CRM, we're fully integrated with those CRMs.
Sure. So yeah, for me, you guys have got Go High Level as one of your probably one of your original. It was Salesforce that Go High Level in the sequence.
Correct. Well, the good thing in today's day and age, there are a lot of tools, technologies, and platforms that allow you to do things if you know how to use them. Like the first time you
Yeah.
pick up a hammer, no one knows what to do with it unless you tell the person what to do with it. In today's day and age, going from the Zapiers from back in the day to now, there's others that allow you to do API to API integrations at scale, but you still have to know how to do it properly. We've done that, so that's why the integrations with all these players didn't take us years; it took us months.
Yeah, which is one of the amazing things that's happened over just the last, say, 3 years, right? Is the ability for software to talk to each other pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yep, and that's why you see
Well, look-
cybersecurity companies doing very well as well, because you need that security layer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, security, that's a whole nother
Another
episode. Well, okay, so then just explain to me, I want to go after, let's say I want to go after outdoor companies that are founders, and I want to sell them, I want to make a podcast for them because they don't have podcasts yet.
Mhm.
How do I construct a campaign to make that go in CallSign?
Well, first, your contact level data, wherever that lives, is who are we selling to? Okay, and that can be through a list you have, that can be through the integration with your CRM, that could be through a specifically only LinkedIn using our audience builder.
Yep.
Soon it can be literally, we will offer contact level data to people as part of the package. So
Gotcha.
whatever that looks like, who we're selling to, is where you're shaping that and giving that to the AI. The other side of that would be, what are we selling? So in this case, we have something called materials, where you load in information about what you want the AI to call upon about your offering, whatever that may be. In the case
So
of
custom GPT, that's a sales outreach GPT, essentially.
yeah, so think of GPT as a piece. If you look at our cocktail, our IP, which is patent pending, we have, think of GPT in one respect as the bourbon. Now think of an ice cube that you are customizing for yourself, and the perfect glass, and then the Campari, and then the X and the Y, and all of a sudden you create this cocktail of these incredibly powerful pieces of a puzzle.
Yep.
GPT is great on its own, but it's one of multi-large language models we're leveraging on our side. So
Right.
when you look at others that are using AI in this space and what large language models, most of them are using one at this point.
And then are you agnostic in terms of which of the LLMs you're pulling from, or do you have you set up a specific one?
It's part of the IP, but I can say this, the cocktail we've created uses a host of large language models to generate personalized outreach materials for the recipient. And the IP is like a three-legged stool, and then the seat are the AI agents, which are called agentic AI UI, something via composable agents that we've created. So we've
Nice.
got this interesting IP that allows us to do some things with hyper-personalized outreach that others that we have not. Again, I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid on this side. This is the age of AI, but we haven't seen. Our piece of a puzzle is pretty incredible in the content that it can generate that we've seen.
Okay, so then I upload my my PDFs and some previous sales decks, and then I connect my LinkedIn to CallSign and my sales nav, and I outline 200 data, or the 200 points in sales nav that I need. Founders, doing business,
Correct.
$1 to $5 million, blah blah blah. Then what happens?
Do you want to see it? Would it be helpful to show me? Don't tell me.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right.
Let's
right.
see it. Okay.
Give me a
You should
second.
be able to share
This
your
will not
screen
be a
there.
long demo. This will
Oh,
be
that's
just
cool. Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is the product. This is CallSign. These are the people. Now the people have been loaded in through whatever mechanism that we talked about before, but they are in the system now. And this is one thing that I'll show really quickly. The audience builder allows you to create a list within Sales Navigator, bring it in here, and have access to sell to these people. Another way, of course, is the CRM integration. Materials, to your point, are what we are selling. So now I've loaded in information about my offering, in this case, CallSign. It can be any number of website links you want, any kind of file, even knowledge bases. Okay.
Nice.
Now this is what the AI calls upon to describe what it is I'm selling.
Sure.
The magic happens in the playbooks. People, materials. Now what are we going to say? So the agents get activated when I tell CallSign what are the target prospects. This can be anything you want it to be. VPs at software companies, VPs of engineering at X. In this case, potential call sign customers I've met with or spoken with. So this is a campaign I did before we launched. I talked to quite a few people. So I decided to reach out to them. Now the agents are active. Now what do you want to do, Mark? Well, I'd like to use you, AI, to generate a 6 outreach sequence, 3 emails, 3 LinkedIn. In this case, I'm not choosing to make phone calls, which we do call scripting. As I mentioned, soon there will be SMS and news. I choose my materials. I then tell the AI what to do next. This is optional, but it's powerful. These are people I've met with. They likely know my name. Be casual, be brief. Mention we start at $19 a month. Find something about them that relates to call sign. End on one of my approved phrases. It generated the entire sequence of outreach at the prompt level and scheduling level. So day one, the AI is proposed. I say to people, this is teach a person to fish, feed them for life. We all know what that means. Well,
Absolutely.
the AI has given me information. I've given it direction, and now it's come back and say, Mark, this is what I propose. Day one, email, here's the prompt. You have to choose your materials. Now, this is to hone the messaging in, right? You want to make sure you're not just using everything all the time. On day 5, it shows to send a LinkedIn connection request default. You can send it without a message, etc. So now the AI has given me enough information to say, do I like this? Do I want to use this? I tested it, played around with it, generated some content. I got to a point where I'm like, this is actually a Mark Troy approved message. Let me show you an example of one. This is Abby. Abby is one of, I think, 500 some odd people I was reaching out to. Here's her profile within call sign, but here's her LinkedIn. All of this is accessible to the AI. It knows if I'm connected to her or not, etc. I'll get to the punchline in a second here. You can access and interact with any of the posts, etc. Something we created called intelligence. The intelligence is information for the salesperson to leverage and for the AI to leverage. You need to make the API call to get it. But WorkHuman's social recognition tool. Here's what it wrote. She works on that platform. Hi, Abby. Remember our chat last spring about improving outreach? That was the name of the meeting from my materials that I fed into the AI so it would know. Loop back, casual. There's a $19 a month mention. Your social recognition platform is awesome. Connected to how call sign could help. Drop a line when you can. Ellipsis, thanks.
Wow. And so you're not just scraping LinkedIn at this level either, right?
I'll be very clear in what the answer to that is. We do not scrape anything. We literally are connected through an approved vendor to LinkedIn. So this is recently Apollo and Seamless.ai got banned by LinkedIn.
Right.
They've been scraping and they broke the terms. And again, it's in the public domain. This is not Mark Troy's opinion. It's out there.
Yeah,
so we're looking forward to actually showing people that we can do this with a very approved and accepted by LinkedIn.
And so I love that. That's critical, right? As we move forward and everything gets more sophisticated. I'm curious about, okay, so essentially you're setting up this really powerful outbound campaign, which is awesome. Now does call sign then answer a reply that comes in from the person, or does that go straight back to you, Mark Troy?
It's a great question. So the sales rep, I say just because you can, we've all heard the term, doesn't mean you should. Certainly the AI could respond. Okay. We are working behind the scenes on ways for that to actually make sense, where it is tied to the voice and the context of what you're trying to accomplish. But no, right now we don't do that because a salesperson's job, if someone says yes, then they can take them out and put them, into their pipeline. But what happens, for example, if you send a LinkedIn message and someone does this? What does that mean? Do I want to take that out of my outreach or keep it in? The human has to interact with the data. And in this case, if the data is positive, you take it. If it's negative, you remove them from outreach. Simple as that.
Right. I got you. That's cool.
Good question.
Yeah. Well, that's, I think we're all looking at how we feather in the LLMs with the human and figure out where do we fit in the sequencing now, right? In relationship building and where are they a warm lead for the human to talk to?
Well, that's the idea. I think everything, you got to remember I've looked at the competitive landscape, and one thing I've seen is the broad offering that a lot of these sales enablement tools have. Ours is meant to be incredibly narrow and deep. Help the salesperson get time back, which is a massive amount of time for some. For me, it's about a day a week of content that I don't have to create anymore. That's a lot of time. That's 8 hours. And on top of it, I'm getting outreach at a level where I can say that is an approved Mark Troy message,
Yep.
and I feel confident sending it. So now I have thousands of emails and LinkedIn messages that have been generated that are starting to go through the outreach program that I've approved.
Right.
Because it is my message. It's Mark Troy. It's not an automated message. It's literally Mark Troy using technology to personalize an outreach campaign.
Yeah, no, it's an appropriate use of all these things. Now, let's see. Do you want to talk any more about what a campaign looks like?
Sure. Like the campaign, and when we look at these playbooks, in this particular case, here's this campaign. This is a campaign of a 6 outreach sequence. So day 1, day 5, day 8, 14, etc. I can change these any way, shape, or form I want. I can literally drag them around, move them around. I can add to them. I can compress the schedule. I can expand the schedule. And I can have multiple campaigns going on at any given time. Behind the hood here, you'll see in the playbooks, you'll see in our case, there's quite a bit of testing in here as well. But these are a lot of campaigns that we have relative to different playbooks for different sales reps within our organization.
Sure.
Imagine you go to an enterprise customer with 1,000 salespeople in one division. Well, there's a lot of playbooks that'll be created, a lot of materials. So as long as it's structured properly, you'll know what playbooks are yours, what playbooks are others. You can clone playbooks and modify them. It's a fascinating way to just create a team-driven outreach using playbooks, but also ensuring that they are catered to what your specific needs are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah. What other kind of agent focused activities happen inside a call sign?
Well, agents are interesting. I mean, we're hearing a lot in the space around agents right now, and I think a lot of it is a precursor to what's actually going to happen. For example, I look at Salesforce, and what they're doing is a kind of like Bill Gates wrote the road ahead back in the internet days of what we're going to do, what it is going to be. This is the year of AI and the agents.
Yep.
If you look at what agents can and can't do, it's pretty fascinating. They can be autonomous. We have something called composable agents, which I'll share with you here. This is something that we've been working on for a while here. Essentially looking at multiple requests that can happen in parallel and or sequentially. Sure. While sharing data across. Think of it like this. This is one thing I tell people that's kind of interesting. Imagine if you could take agents, but then put them into a container. And in that container, they're sharing information faster. Think of it as a platoon that it has a task, but they're not just a specialized focus. They are meant to solve a problem or create a solution to something. Imagine another container, another platoon, similar in structure that has a different goal.
Right.
So now the agents within the containers are hyper-connected, hyper-sharing, and the containers are sharing across. Think of it across an entire army, if you will. That's where agents are going, and that's what's interesting about this, in that you can create agents that are specific for a task, or they're specific to a function, if you will. And it's fascinating to watch it happen, because we have agents right now actually selling into the enterprise for call sign with no humans associated with them, and it's starting to just communicate with people along the way by just letting it go and giving it a direction.
Yeah, and that's where you're starting to bleed in from agent into agentic, right? When we start understanding what those words are, in that the agents are starting to have some autonomy in some capacity to make decisions inside of conversations with humans.
You got it. And that's where we are with our agentic AI and UI play. Our goal with our next tranche that we're raising capital against is to literally get to this point, which we are starting to get to. Good morning, call sign. Good morning, Mark. I'd like to do a new campaign. Tell me your strategy. And now the interaction is truly in a human way versus a technology way, which is typed on the computer.
Yeah, well, that's powerful. And I don't know if you've seen this tool called Bordy yet, but
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it would be awesome if you connected Bordy to call sign, and then I could just call Bordy and have you guys do the work on the back end. So anyway, I know you can't talk about that if you are doing that.
I'd love that intro.
Okay, I'll do it. Let's see. Tell me, you got SMS on the horizon, which is awesome. What else is on your product roadmap that you can talk about?
Well, the big one that we literally inked a deal about, honestly, 48 hours ago, give or take, actually Friday, is to develop contact level data within CallSign that people can access, and within our pricing, give it to them as part of the offering.
Wow.
So we start at $19 a month on the teaser package just to get people to come in and try it for LinkedIn only, very, very small, so they can see the content generation. Our key is our content that we generate is incredibly hyper-personalized, can be.
Right.
The full Monty package is $129 per month. So we're going to be offering contact level data as part of the package. So anyone that's looking for contact level data, that ZoomInfo or Apollo or Seamless, can come to us now. And also, if they choose to, tie the two together, use one side, use the other side, or use both. So that's a very exciting thing for us, because we're going to be able to compete at a level where we have 120 million contacts at the disposal for our customers.
Yeah, no, that's a good bonus, especially at that price point. So that's powerful.
Exactly. And our contracts is month to month unless we establish a long-term one with clients that want to. So we're trying to make it. We've worked with sales enablement tools for over 10 years, and we realized there was a gap. And for us, it's about, can people use our platform at their discretion? And if they like it, stay with it.
Yeah.
Seems logical to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of old world values, which I appreciate. Right.
Well, I'm an old guy now, so it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to say. It's kind of
funny.
Oh,
it is. Well, it's a really smart product, and it's a good blend of human in the loop, agents, and these customized playbooks. So awesome development, and very forward thinking. I love what you're doing, Mark.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna get this spun up inside my agency and see if we can generate some income on it. And if I do, I'm gonna reach out to you, and then we'll do a little success story podcast. How about that?
I love it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mark, anything else besides callsign.com? All that stuff will be in the show notes and links to catch up with you. But anything else you want to say as we close up here?
No, I think it's just it's an exciting time in the AI space, and we're fired up to be in it. And if anyone has any questions, reach out to me. I'm here. I'm here at my desk all the time.
All right. Well, I love what you're doing, and I appreciate your time this morning. Hang on for me while I close it up, and we'll get you on your way.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, super powerful tool. Really, really affordable for businesses of all sizes, and a great way to leverage focused use of AI, but still having it hold your authentic message, which we know is the critical part of relationship building in business, even in this age of AI. Hope you found this interesting and exciting as I did, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.